The Vancouver Titans are not in a very pretty spot right now, and I'm not talking about their gameplay, even though they did not look all that good the other week when they finally played again. I'm talking more about it from an organizational standpoint here. I usually don't like to talk a lot about rumors and or drama here on the channel, but this is a situation where I need to make an exception, as it could have a profound impact on the league overall. Also, whether you're a Vancouver Titans fan or you just like the league in general, I think it's very important to know what's going on right now behind the scenes from all of the rumors. Okay, in order to tell the current story, I feel it's necessary to kind of start from the beginning about some of the stuff that's been happening before this season even began. So, as a bunch of you probably already know, there's been a lot of dissatisfaction between like the players and the coaches and the organization that they're being run under right now. Since as early as the 2019 season, apparently, a lot of the people being ran by this management are just not happy about the way they've been treated. Time for a little history lesson. So, back when the Vancouver Titans franchise was announced, it was also announced that they were going to be owned by Canucks Sports and Entertainment, who are also the owners of the NHL franchise, the Vancouver Canucks, and alongside that, they also have a partnership with Luminosity Gaming to have some more expertise in the field of esports. From the looks of it, either somebody who manages the Vancouver Canucks organization or maybe somebody from Luminosity is just not doing a good enough job of taking care of their players and coaches and just anybody on the staff in general for the Vancouver Titans. It would honestly make a lot of sense if there was something going on with Luminosity and the Vancouver Titans players and coaches, as we've already seen some other Luminosity teams as of late being disbanded or just like exiting pro leagues and stuff, so there's been a lot of issues with that org, it would seem. All you have to do is look online. There is plenty of people out there who have been discussing these rumors of Vancouver Titans having organizational problems. I think even Sideshow said something about it on his Twitter. He didn't really leak anything specific, but he did say there were some issues. Then, of course, my main man, Aaron Halo of Thoughts Brown over on Twitter. You should definitely check him out. He's a very reliable Twitter source for the Overwatch League, but he said that, well, the Titans were looking to trade Hoxel before they were even trading Bumper away last year. Like, they were looking for offers for him during the offseason. They were willing to get rid of him because apparently there was some tension. As stated in the tweet though, we don't know the full story of the discontent between the players in the org right now, but if this isn't a sign that there was issues between Hoxel and management even back then I don't know what is. Other than maybe budget issues, I guess, what other reason would you trade away Hoxel other than potential issues between him and your org? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. He's one of the premier DPS players of the Overwatch League. He won Rookie of the Year in 2019. The guy is a beast. How the Vancouver relationship with Hoxel got to this point is beyond me, and while Hoxel I guess could be part of the issue, I'll talk about why I don't think that's the case in a little bit. I think more than anything else, the Titans just found a way to screw up the relationship with Hoxel, and I just don't know how or why you do something like that. You have to do whatever it takes to keep your star players happy, and Hoxel is probably the most important player, if not one of the most important players on the team. Now, I do understand that Hoxel does have this certain personality to him, and that he does tend to have a pretty big ego, but if he was getting into fights with the players and the coaches and he wasn't getting along with everybody, they definitely would have traded him away because he would have caused a lot of issues this season, right? And while there is some stuff that probably happened internally that we don't know about, all of the posts out there say that it's a management thing. The players and the coaches have an okay relationship. It might not be the best in the world, but it's certainly not the big underlying problem here that's making them upset. While we're talking about players and a history of egos, this also means that Fissure is not the problem either. I'm sorry to all my Fissure haters out there, but this goes way beyond him. I know he's not the most reliable source in the world because he has lied in the past, but Fissure recently on a stream said that he has not caused any drama since leaving the Seoul Dynasty, and that there are issues going on within Vancouver that he can't talk about, but they don't really have to do with him. Now, you don't have to believe him if you don't want to. You don't have to take his word for this, but remember what I've been saying. There are various sources out there that have been talking about internal issues with the Vancouver Titans long before Fissure even joined the team. One other interesting part of the translation of his stream when he was talking about this stuff is that he seems to be dealing with a situation as well. Again, he can't really talk about it, but that further leads me to believe that the Vancouver players are dealing with some stuff that is not making them very happy right now. But how is it that management is upsetting their workers so much? While I don't have every single little detail, here's one thing that we have learned from a Reddit post that I showed earlier. This was reported by the same source who leaked the Vancouver roster back in the day, so I for one consider it to be somewhat reliable. So in this leak, it is stated that the Vancouver players and coaching staff are not being taken care of. They have no facility to work with in Korea, so the games they played recently were from their own homes. As a result, they played those games feeling very stressed out because they feel like they're being held in Korea with not enough help. And guess what? All of their players and coaches are fed up at this point. They are sick and tired of this. It's almost as if they have to fend for themselves out there. And you know what? So long as this continues, this is going to be a distraction that prohibits everybody on Vancouver from having the total focus needed to execute a game plan and win a lot of games. Some people don't understand that this could be really bad. While the last part might end up being a stretch, the source is saying the Titans could end up having a London Spitfire-like ending where the team breaks up. Now, I have heard that it might not be within Vancouver's power as of right now because of money issues to help them thanks to the pandemic, and it is true that we should probably wait and just hear what every side has to say about this before we make a total judgment, but regardless of the reasoning, there are major issues that need to be resolved ASAP. The tension is built far beyond its boiling point. The last couple of days have seen a chain reaction of events that can be seen as acts of protest. It all started on April 18th when people began to notice that Hoxel got rid of all affiliations with the Vancouver Titans on his Twitter account. As of this recording on April 21st, his bio, profile picture, and banner are now completely different. But it doesn't end there. Move over to April 19th now, and boom, Twilight changes his bio over on Instagram. A little later in the day, things take another turn for the worse. Every player on social media with the exception of Sominsu and Janu have removed all Vancouver stuff from their accounts. So now April 20th rolls around, and would you look at that? Sominsu has now joined the club. Janu is now the only player left on Twitter with Vancouver-related stuff on his profile, and it's worth noting that both Fissure and Stitch don't have Twitter accounts, so we can't really include them in this. Moving on though, after this the rest of April 20th goes on without any breaking news, so now we get over to the 21st, and apparently it's not just the players now. Their head coach P. John and assistant coach Andante have removed all traces of the Vancouver franchise from their Twitter accounts too. And as of this recording, that's everybody who has joined the so-called protest that we're dealing with. I'm well aware that there have been cases where players do this, then leave the respective team, and then there's other results where everything just returns back to normal as if nothing happened to begin with. But in pretty much all previous examples I've seen, it's pretty much just been individual cases. Never have we witnessed an entire team do something like this. If all of these guys are acting this way, there is something serious going down in Vancouver land. None of them want anything to do with that org right now. They're literally acting like they have no affiliations with this team whatsoever, and they're just these generic Overwatch League personalities. We've got OWL Hoxel, OWL Flexoman Sue, OWL Support Slime. It goes on and on. This does not look promising, ladies and gentlemen. Are we witnessing the biggest implosion in league history right before our very eyes? This is a team-wide issue. This is serious. It serves as a huge distraction, and if things don't start to improve right now, then the Titans may end up breaking up, worst case scenario. Vancouver may have to make some major changes to their team if things continue the way they are, and that would be a shame, let's be honest. This is one of the best teams we've ever had in the league. They are former stage champions, they had the best regular season record during Season 2, and they were Grand Finals runner-ups, and now the future of such a successful team is completely up in the air. But that's pretty much everything I have to share with you guys. That's everything I know about the current situation as well as my take on it. If there's any details I did not mention or you just want to express your general opinion, then don't hesitate to let your voice be heard down in the comment section. Besides that, if any major changes happen, I will make sure to make a video on it. Welp. That's pretty much everything I've got for you guys, so if you enjoyed the video, then it would mean a lot to me if you could hit that like button and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with any major news. Then consider joining my Discord, following me on Twitter, and purchasing a channel membership if you're interested in supporting me beyond your viewership alone. And as usual, thanks so much for watching today's video, I really do appreciate it, and until next time, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.